Some say 750s are the perfect sport bike. Superbike power in a nimble supersport chassis. The problem is, the class has been dying, with the GSX R750 as the last survivor, unchanged for over a decade, and discontinued in most regions. That was the case until CFMoto introduced the new 750SR-S. But here's the big question. Can it really challenge the legendary Gixxer and even take on the new breed of supersports like Yamaha's R9? The Gixxer hasn't really changed since 2011. It's still Euro 3, but it's packing 150 horsepower at the crank. That's way more than the R9's 119, and even higher than the CFMoto with just 111. But as for torque, the R9's triple, with its wide, more practical, and street-friendly power band, generates 93 Nm, placing it ahead of both the Suzuki, which makes 86 Nm, and the CFMoto, which only has 80. On the scales, the Gixxer is the lightest at 190 kilos. The R9 is only 5 kilos heavier, while the CFMoto comes in much heavier at 213. So, when it comes to power to weight, the winner's clear. The Gixxer takes the crown, the R9 comes second, and the CFMoto, with the least power and the most weight, lands at the bottom. So the Gixxer and CFMoto are both powered by inline 4 flat plane. The R9's got one less cylinder, but it makes up for it with a bigger engine, about 145cc more. The Gixxer's engine, last updated around 14 years ago, runs on the less restrictive Euro 3 standard, while the others are choked by Euro 5+. That's one of the reasons it makes more power. In terms of compression ratio, the Suzuki is the highest, while the R9 is the lowest. For the valve train, they use a double overhead cam with 4 valves per cylinder. All 3 engines are paired with a 6-speed gearbox with a slipper and assist clutch. When it comes to electronics, the Gixxer is as old school as it gets. It hasn't been updated in ages, so don't expect things like an IMU. It doesn't even have ABS brakes or ride-by-wire. The only thing it has is a 2-step power mode with full power and slightly reduced power. No traction control, no rider aids, no TFT display, no multimedia. Second place goes to the CFMoto. It does have ABS and an IMU, but still no ride-by-wire, which means it only gets an upshift quickshifter. On the plus side, it comes with riding modes, traction control, and a big 6.2-inch TFT display with optional multimedia. It also gets a keyless system that lets you start the bike, unlock the steering, or even open the fuel tank through your phone using Bluetooth and a dedicated app. You can also use NFC or even a password. On top of all that, it has cornering lights and emergency brake lights. But the Yamaha R9 takes the crown here. It's packed with top-tier rider aids you'd normally find on a superbike. It offers everything the other two bring to the table, plus more, except for a keyless system. The Gixxer and R9 both use perimeter aluminum frames, while the CFMoto has a tubular trellis frame made of chromoly steel. Suspension-wise, it's pretty even across the board. Each bike comes with fully adjustable upside-down forks up front and a fully adjustable monoshock at the back. For braking power, the R9 gets the newer Brembo monoblock Stylema calipers, which offer better cooling and reduced weight, while the other two make do with M4 monoblock calipers. Tire sizes are identical on all 3. They all run a 120 up front and a 180 at the rear. When it comes to wheelbase, the Gixxer is the most compact, while the R9 and CFMoto are a bit longer and almost identical. Seat height-wise, the CFMoto is the most accessible, plus they even offer optional higher and lower seats. The Gixxer and R9 sit a bit taller in comparison. As for fuel tanks, the R9 has the smallest one, while the Gixxer and CFMoto both carry 17 liters. The Gixxer is a pure old-school supersport, with its high-revving inline-4 made for that top-end rush. It makes the most horsepower here, but you need to rev it high to tap into its full potential, while the R9 and CFMoto are tuned with more usable low-to mid-range torque, which is what you'll actually need and use more on the road. Electronics-wise, the Gixxer can't really compete. It hasn't had a major update in over a decade, but that simplicity is something some track riders actually prefer. Plus, it's lighter and more compact, with a shorter wheelbase and sharper geometry, making it arguably the best track bike of the bunch. Unfortunately, it's not sold globally anymore and has been discontinued in most regions, including Europe. If you want a more versatile machine, the R9 and CFMoto are the smarter picks. The R9 brings superbike-level electronics and punchy torque, while the CFMoto gives you that inline-4 character at a much more budget-friendly price.